We have Rose McGowan, who has taken on Hollywood and appears to be winning. And we'll talk about that.
What you're saying is he's part of a whole system that is not just Harvey Weinstein at all. It's like a lot of people are participating in this.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah. Which is a cult.
Yeah, well, that was kind of the point.
Exactly. So
she's kind of poignant on her body language. It's very, it's almost like spring acted. And then she just pounces out and then comes right back in. Very jarring in her movements, even in her facial expression. Yeah. Her mouth just juts open, but it comes right back. And she does this consistently.
So at what point do you recognize it's not just this creepy movie mogul, it's like everybody?
Well, very quickly.
Yeah.
When I flew home,
And you see it's jittery movements. But considering the kind of battle that she's been fighting and still fighting, and it's becoming very dangerous. For those of you who do not understand the psychology of power, we are at the point now where it will lash out because it's dying. So for her mentality to be where it's at, it's understandable for the jerky movements and the stress, considering the kind of fight that she's fighting.
I didn't go to any of the other premieres I had at Sundance. That time I went home. And I went to the management office of my managers at that time, and the head manager, they were very powerful. I said to him, what happened? And I was like, shell-shocked and like, bleh. And the first thing out of his mouth, God damn it, I just had an LA Times expose on him killed. He owes it to me not to do this.
Whoa.
And then I was like,
then you see her movement. She's very animated. It's spring-loaded, but she's very animated. It's kind of funny. She's got like a personality of funny, but it's sarcasm funny.
That's when I started figuring out everybody was in on it.
Wow.
So then I said, I want the LAPD. I want to talk to a criminal attorney. I want somebody to tell me what my rights are here. And of course, at that time, like if I'd come out and said in the press, like, please, like nothing would happen, obviously. It wasn't the time societally. Certainly is not the time there, not that it ever was. And so my oldest sister.
You see the chin come up with her hand to her chin, but it's very brief. Those are the moments of uncomfortableness. And what is she doing when she does that? She's mentioning her sister. So it gives her even more stress. I want to hide. I want to protect family, which is, oh my God, it's a real person who's fighting a juggernaut.
Like 3 years ago, she's like, she's a lesbian, and the woman that came in that presented as working for the LAPD in a black suit, like kind of a short hair, like lesbian woman. She goes, "You're an actress. You've done a nude scene. You're done." And she wasn't wrong. I knew she was right. I was like, yeah, you're right. So then I found out quickly that he was offering to anybody he'd done this to $1 million. That was his number. That was his standard offer. And you had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which means you cannot talk to your therapist, your boyfriend, your mom, anybody in your life for the rest of your life. You cannot tell them this monstrous thing happened to you. Keep it inside. So I was like,
that's part of her sarcasm. It helps her cope with the trauma. And everybody, when they have trauma, they have a coping mechanism if they're capable of interacting with the public in a normal way. They've always got a quirk. This is her quirk. It's her coping mechanism.
I'm going to trick him. So I played really dumb and requested $100,000 in return for not signing an NDA. So I became very quickly his number one enemy because then the movies I had done that hadn't come out yet hit, and I got very famous very quickly.
So you see her as she does this little smile as she does it. It's like, it's a hidden thing. It's not really hidden. Let me give you the psychology on this. One, she's quite smart, obviously. She didn't have to sign that non-disclosure agreement. She only got $100,000 for it. Now, in her little mind, the next decades didn't lay out for her of, oh, this is how it will play out. No one thinks that way unless you've got a crystal ball. And I do not think Miss McGowan has a crystal ball. But what does come through the mind for an intelligent person is they go, I know I've got a huge trump card with the ability to speak about what happened to me. I also know at this particular time, I do not have the ability to garner an audience to listen to me. I have to sit on it, but I need money. $100,000 is a lot, but for a lot of people, that's enough to sit there and live quite a few years on. And so that's what you do. She knew she had something. She got money, and she could now sit on it until the opportune time. And that's how a smart person thinks. I know I've got it. I just have to wait. I have to be patient. Pay attention to the signs of the world. And then make it my mission to follow a path that starts, I don't want to say exposing, but you're an irritant to the individual. All right, the best metaphor I can come up with is something to the fact of you have a mouse who has put himself in a maze, that's Weinstein, and you have the capability of being outside that maze and laying walls and changing the maze. Now, you don't have like this grand thing of moving existing walls, and you only have a certain amount of walls you can play with. But if you're smart about it, you can have that mouse going around in circles. That is what she has done. And those walls is kind of like currency. She needed to not sign that NDA, and she needed the money. And if she were to give up either one of those, she would be giving up walls to this mouse. That is how a smart person thinks.
So then I'm dangerous to him. So from that point on, your former guest, Anthony Pellicano, he was hired actually, to work with the Inquirer to keep dossiers on me. He bought off, this has also been exposed by Ronan Farrow, who I have my own quibbles with, maybe we'll get there, he would like say from anyone from Graydon Carter to somebody, any journalist in America.
Graydon Carter.
I found that quite just interesting on the personality and her coping skills. Her coping skills are very, very good as far as being able to use sarcasm to get through life in general. But you see the stress. Somebody has done something off camera that in her mind she's taking as unusual. I'm going to watch you. Remember that whole thing about what power does when it's this close to dying. It lashes out. So she's watching everything and everyone. Someone has moved. We're having a conversation. What are they doing? Tucker's not fazed. Maybe I should ignore it.
At the time was the editor of Vanity Fair. Very
Fair.
Powerful. Very powerful.
Scumbag. So all these journalists from from anywhere from the New York Times to the Inquirer to People to Us Weekly, any of these kind of things, he would say, he would option one of their stories they'd written and say, I'm going to turn this into a movie. I'm going to win you a lot of Oscars. Oh, by the way, here's my hit list. If this person ever appears like on a red carpet or there's a paparazzi photo of them, write the most disparaging, disgusting stuff. He had a list. I was number one on his list with a red line through my name. And he was not wrong. I am a very formidable enemy.
Yeah, well, you turned out to be. That's for sure.
I mean,
for him.
the thing is, it's like, dude, you built this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like this. You think I want to talk about this stuff? You think this is fun? On what planet is that fun?
Right.
No, but somebody has to do it. And I know, when I was 11, I used to study Napoleon, Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great's battle plans. I had like Venn diagrams on my walls and ceilings with threads and pins, like studying
So
the
it must
troop
be kind of
maneuvers.
weird when all this breaks and all these people are like, oh, I can't believe it. You know, this is like shocking.
There was a 16-year-old girl from Australia that tweeted at me. She goes, I'm 16 and I work in a coffee shop in Australia after he was exposed. And even I knew.
So what do you make of this? Like,
what do you make of it? What are your thoughts and their morals?
I think I'm not a conspiracy nut. Well, first of all, I'm not sure what to make of some of it. Like the outlines, I don't know enough because I've never lived in that world. I've just brushed up against it.
But you know that he was protected by Hillary and Bill Clinton, that he was protected by David Boyce, Uber lawyer.
100%. David Boyce is a true sleazeball.
I'm suing him in federal court.
You should.
And Black Cubed.
You should. You should.
So,
but it's like the Epstein
he was protected
thing.
by the Democratic Party.
Yeah, why?
She's very angry about that. He's protected by the Democratic Party. And you see her, he says, but why? And instantly she goes over to think, but why? She's not actually quite sure. She's coming up with an opinion.
That's what I don't understand.
And then she's honest about it. That's what I don't understand. And I can understand why people don't understand. Like, oh my God, this guy is a sleazeball. He even attacks their own. Now, without sounding like a complete nut, you cannot think of this organization, because that's what it is. It's an organization of power. And to get into this organization of power, you have to be accepted in, okay? Now, once you're into it and you've been accepted in, you are no longer human. And I say that in a way so that you differentiate how they view you. What is it? All animals are equal. Some animals are more equal than others. That whole concept, that view, that book is how this works. It was extremely well written, and it explains why they can abuse each other and nothing happens to them that you know of. You don't really know what goes on behind the scenes between the elected officials of the pigs because you don't get to see it. And neither does Miss McGowan, which is why she can't completely understand. Their punishment for abusing the other animals does not exist. Their punishment for abusing each other exists. We just don't know what it is. That may be why he's in jail right now. He abused one of their own. We don't know.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers, where Mandy teaches more about her techniques of deception detection. There's also other content such as the Crime series and Interesting Minds series, available to both Gold and Silver subscribers.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Fero. Fero is one of the few cryptocurrency projects that I respect. Unlike most other cryptocurrencies, Fero is focused on safeguarding your financial privacy without compromising on trustlessness, which means no third parties are required, and transactions are private by default. Fero also has an exciting roadmap to look forward to. Features such as Instant Send, where payments can both be sent and confirmed within seconds. There's also Elysium, which adds tokenization functionality similar to Ethereum, but it also enables these assets to enjoy Fero's privacy technology. There's many more things on the roadmap, and if you'd like to learn more, head over to fero.org.